Hey.
How y'all doing?
Y'all are going live. Y'all going live.
This is what happens when...
Oh, no. Hold on, guys. Hold on.
Oh, no.
Fat fingers. And this is... All right. Arden's going live today.
You're now live.
Woo! We did it, guys. We did it. Now I'm going to go watch on my computer.
This is what happens when you have people as your guest that you work with and all the fun you have behind the scenes.
When you have the wrong teammate running the technology.
We made it.
This teammate does the talking. She doesn't do the technology.
We made it. We're live.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, everybody. Listen, thanks for tuning in. It's Thursday again.
Yes.
Yay. Favorite day of the week.
I know.
And if you're a football fan, there are preseason games on tonight. I'm so excited about that. It's still very hot, but it's Thursday and it's time for Ladies Who Lunch. So grab your drink of choice, your swig, whatever you need, and join us for your lunch because guess what? You won't want to miss. I have the Shelby Jones. Yay!
Thank you for having me on.
You're welcome.
Yay.
I have Shelby, and she is so awesome. And I have to first tell you before we get started that she is only 23 years old. But she is a wealth of knowledge, and she's a go-getter. She graduated college a year ago.
Yeah.
A year ago.
Officially.
From App State. And she has all kinds of things going on, and the most important thing, in my opinion, is that she helps us run our social media for Henderson Properties and for Shelly L. Henderson. So thanks for coming on, Shelby.
Thank you so much for having me.
We have so much to talk about.
Yeah, we have tons to talk about.
All right.
That's good.
So let's get right to it because I know everybody's busy.
Mm-hmm.
This is a great way to beat the heat. And if you can't watch us live, you can watch us later.
Yeah.
Hey, so listen. It's all about starting from scratch, and we're going to continue talking on the podcast. Shelby also runs the podcast and downloads it for us. And Shelby, tell the exciting news. Are we on Apple?
Yes. So we're officially on Apple Podcast, and we'll be on Spotify soon, and we're still on Squarespace. And then a few of the episodes are on SoundCloud. So now you can download us and you can rate us 5 stars, which is exciting.
I'm so excited. Thank you so much for all your hard work on that. I appreciate it.
This is one of my favorite jobs just because we get to talk about real things that people want and need to hear about. And that is so important, is that you're just creating a good environment that's genuine and that you feel passionate about. So that's exciting.
I know, and that's why it doesn't matter how old you are or how young you are. It matters what do you want to do? What do you aspire to be? And you need to surround yourself around those people that have the same goals as you. And also do not be afraid to surround yourself with people that are smarter than you are. And it just so happens that the 2 people on my team are women that are younger and smarter than me. And I love that.
I wouldn't even say that. I would say you
love
two
that.
are both like
I am younger
in my life. Yeah.
But you are younger than
Yes,
all of us.
yes. But here's the thing. We're not good at everything. So embrace what you are good at and what you do know and what you want to know, and surround yourself with people who know the other things that you want to know, right? Because it's all about growing and learning and communicating, and it's a big world out there. So whatever you are thinking about doing, you can do it. Yes. And Shelby is a perfect example because she's had a big week. Not only did we get our podcast on Apple and Spotify, but she just moved out on her own. So she's so excited. I know her mom is probably sad, but tell us about that. How's your first 3 nights been?
It's been like exhausting, and I was talking about this earlier. It's been just it's like I thought it was going to be so social and just like I was going to jump in, head first into it, but I like started moving and I just like realized how like much I have been through this past year and how almost like it was rewarding and amazing to move in, but it was like my body just kind of shut down for the past 3 days, and I was like, I just need sleep.
Relief.
I need sleep and like face mask and a lot of self-care and just like literally get in my self-organizing self. So it's been so great. I live in Plaza Midwood now. My mom's side of the family was born and raised in Noda, so I'm in a place that I grew up around and is like home to me, and it just, I get emotional talking about it because there's not a lot of, I'm back where I started, and there's not a lot of people that are born and raised here, and also I'm not in an apartment that is cookie cutter and just placed there, and
that was important to you.
Yeah, that was really important to me. So I live in like a very cute it was built in the 1920s house, and I love that so much.
Okay, so talk to us, Shelby. Remember, I'm telling y'all, it doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, just you have to go after what you want. And it's nothing is ever going to come to you. It's so important to realize that and teach your children that. I just wrote a blog that we're gonna post over the weekend, and you have to teach work. You have to teach, going after things that you want. So tell us, Shelby, such a young age, how did you decide, okay, now the time is right to move out? She's also started her own business, so we're going to hang with us for just a second. So tell us about all that. How did you decide, okay, I'm just doing it?
Oh my goodness. You mentioned like the right time, and it always is timing. For me, if I was to move out as soon as I came back from app, I would have I wouldn't have had the opportunities that I do today. And so for me, it was realizing like, this is the right time for me to move out. I am prepared. I've saved money. I found a good place. I feel happy in the jobs that I'm doing. So it was all like timing for me, because I mean, it was not easy when I moved back from app. I just felt like finding a job is so hard when you come out of college, because you have like, something that you've been studying for, roughly 4 years. For me, it was about 2 years, and I just wanted to find like a good job, but it was like I kept getting the runaround, and like the runaround of I can't find something that I fit in. And so it was a lot of trial and error before I decided like, oh, I need to be, freelancing. I need to start my own business. Like,
and you didn't give up.
Yeah, and also like I didn't want to give up, but also I needed to listen to myself and say, this opportunity right now isn't the best for me, and that was really tough. In order to move on, I had to say like, this isn't where I need to be right now, and it took like lots of time, but it was just like being okay with transitioning and being okay with the flow and being okay with like, this is the right opportunity now, and this one isn't, and that's okay. So,
right, yeah. And it's okay to say it's okay. You have to try something else to get it right. And one thing that we're going to talk further on the podcast that I can't wait for y'all to hear about is Shelby has had I'm going to say milestone, but she has done something so remarkable in her young life that we're going to touch on that for a few minutes, but we'll talk more about it in the podcast, which also, when she did what she did, also led to what she's doing now. So see, one thing that you do in your life, or a chance that you take, or perhaps somebody new that you meet in your life could potentially take you on a path of greatness.
Absolutely.
So tell us what you did a couple of years ago.
Couple of years ago, we're talking about
journey.
Okay, so
well, maybe more than that.
Yeah, it was probably 4 or 5 years ago. I decided after just many years of childhood obesity and feeling really crappy, and I also had ADD as a kid, and so eating unhealthily and having bad food choices and having ADD was just like not a good combination at all. So I decided to just like dive into like the healthy living aspect that everyone seems to be on nowadays a few years ago, and I tried many different things. I've tried veganism, and I've tried keto, and I've tried whole foods, and I've kind of tried it all, and there's like a name for everything nowadays. That's just kind of how diet culture is. But I tried it all, and I just got really obsessed about healthy living and the culture behind it, and I've just found this passion for food and health and taking care of your body, and just seeing that change in my mental state and my drive and my happiness was just a huge driving factor in starting my business. And I lost 100 pounds of weight in the process because of that. I'm going to slide it into the post.
100 pounds. She lost a person.
I lost a whole person.
Was it hard?
It was. 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 It you have to try like so many different things in order to find something that really works for you. And so I would, try keto, and I was like, this is not for me. Like, my digestion didn't like it, my body didn't like it. And so you just had to like keep evolving and trying things. And there were times where I, was like getting into a diet, and I would immediately feel like just discouraged because it wasn't working, and I felt like, and diets are tough, living healthy is tough,
right?
And so I would like sometimes rebound from it, and it was just like, it was a roller coaster. And I think that's not what a lot of people talk about, is that losing a lot of weight is like a roller coaster. You're not just gonna like start and lose it and you'll keep losing forever. It's like you will lose a little bit and try something, and then you might gain a little bit of it back.
Right.
And you could bounce in and out of it for a long time. And so that's kind of the phases that I've been in, is I lost all that weight, but then I also picked up weightlifting a couple years ago. And for me, that was actually the biggest accomplishment that I have had, because I just feel stronger in doing that habit.
True.
So for me, it was focusing on the habits that I created and just enjoying the process behind it.
Right. And so with that said, do you think, Shelby, that the choices in our life do become habits?
Yeah, they do.
That's good,
Absolutely. Yes, it is.
Really
Choices become habits.
I just thought of that. It was really good.
They do. Every choice has a consequence.
That's going to be
good
a blog
or bad.
post.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, write it down.
Write it down.
Write it down.
That is my job.
Yeah.
That is my job.
Every choice has a consequence, good or bad. But it's also how you distort those consequences. So if it's a bad consequence, for example, so like speaking in the health realm, if like I go out and get pizza and that's my choice,
Sure.
and afterwards if I choose to distort that and like maximize it and say like, oh, I'm an awful person for having that piece of pizza, then it almost just defeats the purpose of living.
Right.
And so when I talk to like my clients and stuff, and they like, say, well, like, I'm just eating so crappy and I'm just a crappy person because of it, it breaks my heart, because like food,
crappy does.
because your choices have consequences, and that's okay, but it's just not letting those choices like completely overrule your life.
Yes.
And just being okay with the process and being realistic about it. And now I will say there's still discipline when it comes to healthy living. Like, I still discipline myself by going to the gym, and there are days I don't want to go to the gym, and there are days I don't want to eat salad, and there's days that I don't want to do that stuff, but it's being realistic about it and having a conversation.
It is, because
yeah.
You know what? One time Shelby and I went to lunch and to have a working meeting, and there were several good options on the menu, and there were some not so good options. And when I wanted a not so good option, she was very matter of fact. She said, but eat what you want, but then at dinner, have the good option.
Exactly.
So as long as we don't have bad options or bad choices all day long, but that's like with everything, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's with everything.
Yeah, everything.
Well, listen, before we go, I'm going to tell y'all how to get in touch with Shelby, because what she has started is wonderful. She has started a food prep delivery meal service. And I have tested it. My family has tested it. Delicious. She has the best prices in town. She probably will give you a starting from scratch discount.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, you can go on my website and put your email in, and you get 10% off just right there.
See?
So,
okay. Listen, and we're going to talk more about all this on the podcast, so I want you to tune in when we download it on Sunday night. But tell them where they could find out right now. Yeah, so you can log on to my website and look at, I have a weekly menu that releases every Wednesday, and I have personalized plans on there. You can get a free consultation with me if you hop on my website, which is www.craftingcleanliving.com. You can also look at my food and pictures that I've taken on my Instagram, which is at craftingcleanliving.com, on Instagram and Facebook, and then my website. So yes, look, try it. And listen, go follow Shelly L. Henderson or Henderson Properties, because you'll see all of the great social media that Shelby posts for us and the stories, and we just tag team on that, and it's just a wonderful thing how we capture all of what's going on in the office life and the starting from scratch life and how we bridge that together. So we would greatly appreciate your support, and we're going to go record the rest of our conversation on our podcast. But listen, y'all, make it a wonderful day. And if you haven't had a great month, just remember it's not over. It's not over. We still have another week or so left. So go make it a great August and start from scratch on something new. Bye.
Bye. And then,
I'm not touching it. Go.
oh, well, you can click. Oh.
Yeah, I'm not touching anything.
That's okay. She's like, I'm not touching
Uh-uh.
anything.